voting a complete waste of time. I have a list of stuff I'm running over here. I don't remember having one politician ever, I could be wrong, but I don't remember anyone, talk about ending taxes, ending property taxes, ending taxes overall, income tax. I mean, there's no one. Even ended business tax. I don't remember hearing one politician talk about it. They talked about wanting to cut it, which a cut is just a stop, or taking less money from the people. Stopping it, I've never heard a politician say we need to end taxation. We need to end this theft. So, it doesn't matter. R versus D, red versus blue, doesn't matter. It's all there. Didn't talk about that. I don't remember hearing any politicians talk about ending any of the emergencies acts. So the freedom stealing acts. Like a national emergency situation in which a government is empowered to perform actions that normally permitted. The 1976 National Emergencies Act implemented various legal requirements regarding emergencies declared by the President of the United States. So this crap started in 1976 at this level. So, for example, what do we have now? What do we have now? That's declared under emergency acts. That was in 1976, because they continually do it year after year, no matter who's president, no matter who you voted for. TSA. Did I say more? See how miserable it is to fly nowadays compared to what it was 15 years ago, 20 years ago? It's night and day. It's not even the same thing. How about dollars still not connected to gold or silver? And Nixon, 1971, August 15th, took us away from any connection to gold for the dollar. Temporarily, he said, temporarily. That was 1971. That was August 15th. And today, it's like over 50 years later. It was temporarily. So the most permanent thing that I've found out is usually something temporary for the government. But that's a whole nother deal. EUA, 9 emergency use authorizations for the pharma shots. There's 9 of them, and they're still active. Emergency use authorization, because without those, legally or constitutionally, they wouldn't be allowed to do most of the crap they do with these injections, or the pills, or whatever you want to call it. Currently still active. This is Carter, November 14th, 1979, sanctions executive order 12-170-20, blocking Iranian government property. Ordered the freeing of Iranian assets as part of the U.S. response during the Iran hostage crisis. That is still current. That is still active right now. Here's another current one that's active right now. Is Clinton, November 14th of 1994. Arms executive order 129, 38, 39, and 40. Proliferation of weapons, mass destruction provides for control over the export of weapons, combined 2 previous national emergencies regarding WMDs. Clinton, another one that's still active, from March 15th of 1995. Sanctions, executive order 12-957-43, prohibiting certain transactions with respect to the development of Iranian petroleum resources, intended to prevent a business deal between Iran and Conoco. It's still active today. Another current Clinton deal was October 21st, 1995. Sanctions executive order 12-978, blocking assets and prohibiting transactions with significant narcotics traffickers, declaring a response to Colombian drug cartels using American companies to launder money. That's still active today. Another current one that's active today from Clinton. This is March 1st of 1996. Maritime Proclamations 6867-46. Declaration of National Emergency and Invocation of Emergency Authorization. Authority relating to the regulation of the anchorage and movement of vessels. Implemented following the destruction of 2 civilian aircraft by the Cuban military on February 24th, 1996. So these are still active. Why am I saying this stuff? Because they're still active today. They're still there, just in case they see something or they want to change something, they want to take away more freedoms or instill more fear, these are still active. They can always go back to them. Here's another one, current Clinton, November 3rd, 1997, sanctioned executive order 1306750, blocking Sudanese government property and prohibiting transactions with Sudan, established a trade embargo against Sudan, specifically targeting the Sudanese government. Why do you care? Because it's still active. They can use that, change that, do whatever they want with at any time. At any time. Who's they? The government, the puppet masters, that kind of stuff. That's who it is. The people that work for the government. It doesn't matter how low tier you are or how high tier you are. You're part of they. They are part of they. We got Bush emergency acts. There are still 11 that are active, most of which are from 911. Obama emergency acts, currently 8 still active, including blocking property and prohibiting certain transactions related to Libya, imposed sanctions on Muammar Gaddafi and his family and Libyan officials after protesters were killed by government forces, including freezing assets and consideration of persecution of war crimes. That's still active today. Still active today. Here's one. Trump emergency acts are still current today. Currently, 8 are still active, including 8 different acts addressing sanctions of other countries. What are sanctions of other countries? Well, yeah, on paper, or when they tell you, it's to harm those countries, hurt those countries, make them feel the pain. But in the end, you and I pay for it. Because it costs more. They're going to steal more from us by doing this to, quote unquote, protect you or, try to punish those other places they're sanctioning. It doesn't work like that. If anyone knows anything about history, they know that. We got Biden emergency acts, currently 8 active, including freezes the property of persons involved in cyber and other threats coming from Russian government. We have authorities authorizes the Secretary of Treasury to issue sanctions on persons who have engaged in activities that contributed to the international trade of illegal drugs or gained property that was from or caused those drug trading activities. And we got requires the transfer of all U.S. held assets of DA Afghanistan Bank to an account of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. And these don't include all of the illegal and unconstitutional acts, mandates that the administration tried to force on the people, masks, shots, testing, and all these other mandates, unconstitutional things that other presidents had to try to push on there. With the whole thing with the firearms thing that Clinton did, this crap that Trump did, this crap that Bush did, they're all the same. It doesn't matter what color, doesn't matter what letter follows their name. It's the same thing. R versus D, red versus blue, doesn't matter. It's the same thing. They're there, and how they make a living, how they get by, is from the theft they do to you and I. That's it. They don't make anything. They don't build anything. They don't create anything. They don't provide anything at all. Zero. All they do is leech and suck and steal. That's it. Period. End of story. That's it. And that's not just the politicians. That's everyone that works for the government. And I'm sad. I'm sorry I say that. Yeah, the lower tier guys, they might not know any of this, but they're working for the whole thing as a situation, a solution, as a gang, a mob, a mafia. That's what it is. So no matter who's elected, it seems that there's no more freedom. There's more taxes. It looks like there's higher taxes, more counterfeiting, and less spending power the majority of the people have. And less freedoms the majority of the people have. It doesn't matter who's in office. The longer this charade goes on, the more of a slave you and I become, and the less we have. Period. That's it. The less we have. So is that less freedom? Is that less money? Is that less control? Is that less ownership? All of it. The less we have, the longer this crap goes on. So the elections, which may matter, which really may matter, are local elections. And I'm talking local, I'm talking mayor or below. Those are the ones that may really matter. So if you agree with me, what can you do about it? What should you do about it? Well, I don't want to tell you what to do. I'll tell you what I've done over the last, 10, 15 years. I have decided I'm going to try to live outside of government, outside of politicians, the best I can, because I don't need them. If I don't need them, they don't matter to me. Sort of like someone who, you got all these people watch football, or all these people watch basketball, or all these people are interested in whatever it is, golf, whatever. And that's their life when those things are going on. That's it. But people who don't care about those things, don't care about that stuff, it doesn't affect them whatsoever. They could care less if this team wins, this team loses, this team makes it, this team folds up, this team's no longer. Or they, hit the World Series or their Super Bowl or whatever. It doesn't matter. The people who are not part of it, don't pay attention to it, it doesn't matter to them. That's what I'm talking about. You need to act like that, in my opinion. At least that's what I've done, the best I can. So the politicians can do whatever they want. They can do all this kind of crap, all this theft, all this stealing. I do the best I can to not be part of it, to not be involved in it, for not to matter. It doesn't affect me. Think of the uber rich, or even the people that aren't uber rich, but the wealthy. We're not talking the Gates and the Bezos. Maybe it's a lower tier CEO. Maybe it's someone like Rush Limbaugh was, or someone to that level. They're making lots of money, and it doesn't matter. The recession-proof, it doesn't matter who gets elected. It doesn't matter because they're beyond that. It doesn't touch them because they don't let it affect them. They get out of the system. They get out of that. Whether they're going to need a handout, they're going to need permission. It doesn't matter to them. That's what I've been trying to do. And yeah, it's a long haul. It's a slow burn. But the longer you stay at it, the better you get. And the more freedom you're going to have. And the more authority. And the better off your future generations are going to be. But anyways, that's all I got to say. If you like this lecture, subscribe. As always, stay vigilant. Protect yourself. And